I'm here in Medjugorje, and I'm with, what's your name?
Joyce.
Joyce, where are you from?
I am from Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Wow, and you said second time with
My
your husband.
second time, yes.
And you said what happened 2.5 years or 1.5 years ago?
1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the night we had arrived. It's a small group of us, went over to Resurrection Cross.
Risen Christ, you mean?
Yes, the Risen Christ. And we were coming back in. We were behind the church. And all of a sudden it got silent. And I knew that was the time of the apparition, but my husband had no idea about that. So I looked over at him and I said, "This is the apparition." But he looked so strange. He wasn't moving. It was like he wasn't breathing. It was like a statue. And he stayed like that for a few minutes. And I was like, "Are you all right?" And then he did this. It was the strangest thing. And our deacon was with us, and he just looked at everybody and he said, "I just had the strangest experience. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. I couldn't breathe." And my husband then described the same thing that had happened to him. And they were both upset. I mean, not happy. There were happy tears coming down, but it was I would have to say it changed him that moment.
In which way?
I definitely saw him embracing his religion more. Then we went up, was it the next day? I think we did Apparition.
Yes, it was.
And that we saw the miracle of the dancing sun. And it was just one thing after it was wonderful. It was just wonderful. And even for myself, I had, when I was younger, I had a close relationship with Mary. I prayed to her all the time. And then 4 kids came along and busy schedules. And my poor Mother Mary is kind of pushed to the side. And when I knelt down at the top of Apparition Hill in front of her statue, I heard, "Well, it's good to see you." And the way a mother would almost kind of reprimand a child who hadn't been calling her or whatever. And I was just like, "Oh, it's good to see you."
Yeah. What are you doing with me, man? I'm starting to cry.
So I just felt like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and just sat there and cried.
Me too.
But
Same happened to me.
Yeah.
First time I went up in front of the white statue. Told your husband about it. Like, and she said, "I see you. I see all your pain." That's what I heard.
Yes.
I was crying.
I mean, you know it was her. You
know it in the heart.
You know
the voice.
it.
You know it's her.
You know it's her. And just the way she said it, just like a mother would have said to
Yes,
you.
exactly.
"Why haven't you called her?"
Your mother.
Yes, but she
Mommy
said
from
it.
heaven.
She said it a lot nicer. It was, "Oh, it's so good to see you." So yeah,
Wow.
that was my experience.
And who taught you that when you were a child to have this relationship with
my mother? My mother had a very, very close relationship with her. To the point where I had a younger brother who passed away, and my mother had a statue of Mary in the house. And the night her son died, she said she was crying, and she looked at the statue and she said, "Now I know how you felt when you lost your son." And she said with that, she had this extreme pain in her chest. And she heard Mary said, "No, you do not." Yes. What you just felt was a fraction of what I felt watching my son.
On that cross. Wow.
So that was,
And what did your mother teach you about the Catholic faith? How did you get that connection as well?
I would just say basically it was through her example. My parents, it was their example. And, daily mass, they would take us to car trips. There were 7 of us. Get in the car. There was some monastery where we would say the rosary there, a decade at the monastery, and another one on the way home. So that's how I grew up.
That's deep in faith.
Yes.
There was no rebellion, something?
Maybe when you're, finished college and it's like, oh, I'm a little getting lazy, I'm skipping mass, that type of thing. But really, when we had our children, I think we really We're like,
Understood again.
yeah,
How do we educate them?
yes. How do we educate them? Through example.
Yeah. And when you saw your parents, you never thought, wow, that's the wrong faith. They were deep embedded in the faith. It seems.
Deep. They were also, my parents were very, very intelligent people. And my father, would rewrite these books he'd read, and he'd be like, oh, and he'd write it so that it was more easily understood. And they were, yes.
Yeah.
And they were always, you know, they religious education teachers. And yeah, it was so.
And when you heard the first time about Medjugorje, what did you think?
My mother had told me.
Your mother?
And yes, though she never made it here herself. What my aunt did. My aunt has been here many, many, many times.
That's the sister of your mother? Of your father?
My father's sister-in-law. So his brother's wife.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's always would be talking about and bring us back holy water and oils. But my mother would give me the messages. She'd be like, oh, here is Mary's latest message. Yes.
What did you think when she gave it to you? Did you say, wow, a strange thing? Or you said, wow, that's true?
I've always believed it was true. And this was, you know, a bucket list item. I have to get there. And I thought I would come once.
Mm-hmm. That would it be it one time ago?
But it's not possible. You just want to keep coming back and coming back. And we want to live here.
You told me about it. Property.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And why do you want to come back? What is Medjugorje for you that you want to come back?
It is the most peaceful place. You come here, and we call it being in a peace bubble.
Yeah.
And then when we did go back home, we kept it with us, and things wouldn't bother me. Things that I normally probably would have lost my temper about, or it just was like, it's not important. It's not important. And recently, though, I've been wanting to come back. And then recently I found myself getting that irritated again over little things. And I said to him, we need a shot of Medjugorje.
Oh, yeah. And he said, yep.
Yep.
Yep, let's go.
So
and for people in America, they asked, how did you get here? We flew into Munich or?
We flew into Shannon, Ireland.
Ireland, yeah.
And we had a few days in Ireland. We went to Knock.
Yeah, I heard about it, yeah.
Oh,
Nancy told me this.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we saw a few old monasteries and heard the history of Ireland, the history that I didn't even know about, the struggles they've had, and how the Catholics went down to like 300 of them left in the country. And it was just amazing. So that's where we were. And then we flew out of Dublin. Yeah. Into Dubrovnik.
Dubrovnik, okay. And they organized the bus.
They do. It was wonderful. Marian Pilgrimages took care of everything. And that bus ride is gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Oh my gosh. What beautiful country here. Yeah. Beautiful country. Beautiful people.
And just they would maybe ask us, is it secure here? How?
I tell everybody that. Yeah. It's like, you feel so safe. I mean, I just walked all around by myself out there,
yep.
Saying hello to everyone. No problem at all. There were a whole bunch of young teenagers just coming out of the church, and like in little soccer uniforms. They were just so cute, running around, yelling, like 16-year-old kids. Where back home it would probably be like, oh, but here it's like, oh, look at them. They're so sweet.
Yeah. And we have to gain that back now, that we lose that. I don't know what it is. It's a spirit of division.
Yes.
Judgmental division. I don't know what it is, but we have, I think Medjugorje teaches that, no? Unity, hand in hand, not.
Exactly. Even just the group of people we came with, all strangers, we're all the best friends now, and everybody had some type of an experience. And
yeah. Can you describe what kind of experience?
Well, one of my friends is here with her husband, and she said we were privileged to be with Ivan in his chapel when he had the apparition.
You were there?
Yeah. And her husband was sitting next to her, and I have never be overtly prayerful, but he had her rosary, and he's praying his rosary, and then I saw him wiping a tear away, and he asked for his own rosary. So
That's magical.
and she's just so thankful for the change she saw in him. So
How was it for you, the apparition, to be there?
it was wonderful. I just so peaceful, but at the same time, I almost felt like I was vibrating. It was just amazing, amazing.
How was it for you, if I may ask?
Medjugorje?
No,
No,
the apparition.
Oh, the apparition?
Yeah.
Oh, it was incredible. I just kept thinking, this is, Mary was actually came down from heaven and is standing in front of you. Just think about that. She came down from heaven and standing. There's nothing like that anywhere.
With her hands over us, blessing us.
Uh-huh.
It's wonderful.
And you go regularly to confession in America?
Not as much as we should, no.
How was it for you? Went here?
But here, right away.
Right.
First day.
And how was the experience?
Oh, it was wonderful. Wonderful. We had this wonderful priest from Ireland, and they're understanding, and they help you. And then we had a wonderful talk afterwards, just on a lot of things, just on my pilgrimage, and,
And what would you tell people now? Why confession?
Oh, it's one of the most important things you can do is go to confession, clear that soul. You feel so much lighter. You feel so much better. And
And then, we say in the Catholic faith, we are in a state of grace. And then we can go receive Holy Communion. What is Holy Communion? The Holy Mass, what is that for you?
It is Jesus' real presence.
Yeah.
And
Can you describe it? Yeah.
I don't know if I can. It's something that I can tell you that during COVID, when we couldn't have it, it's something I missed so much. I miss being able to go to church and having to stay away and just watch on TV. Just not
Something
the same.
Completely different.
Not the same.
Wow, that's so true. The center of our faith.
Yes.
The rosary you pray?
Yes, we do. And that was one thing during COVID. We started up some friends. One of our friends, her granddaughter became very ill and almost died. She was just a baby. So we decided one day, let's say a rosary for Zoe.
Yeah.
And we started a Zoom call. And it kept growing and growing until more and more people were on it. And every day during COVID, we were praying the rosary with our pastor, Father Joe.
Wow, unbelievable.
It was wonderful.
And what, Father Pio says it's the weapon of our times, the rosary. Why is it a weapon?
It is a weapon because it can defeat evil. It can defeat the devil.
You saw it, that petitions were heard.
Definitely. And that little girl, she lost her hearing, but she's gained so many other things, and she'll be doing good things in this world, big things. I can see it in her.
And support of your prayers.
Yes, yes.
And did you make the experience when you live, I asked your husband, when you live in the intention, thy will be done, as it said in Our Father, that you are more in peace, more in joy?
Yes.
More in tune?
Most definitely. I just, instead of, when I find myself in a situation where I'm anxious about something, I just put it in his hands. As our pastor gave a homily this week, and he talked about you have to have radical trust in God. So that was our new saying, radical trust.
In God. And also you ask, and all the time I ask more faith. And you made also experience we don't have to figure things out. God will show it. You pray and you receive.
Yes, definitely.
And we lost that in the Garden of Eden. We start all to think. And we don't have to think because often we can't solve the problem, no?
Right.
You saw the little girl, you started a prayer group.
Exactly. And maybe didn't get the answer. Maybe her parents were hoping her hearing would be restored, but I think she got more gifts in place of that.
Like your husband said, sometimes the prayers are answered in a different way.
In a
So,
different
okay.
way. Hmm.
Fasting? You do fasting? Is that tough for you guys? Or-
We basically was just we were during Lent, but after hearing Father Leon this week, we are going to start our fasting on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Why? What did he tell you? And what
I
made
had-
you do that now?
Well, that was the first time I really ever heard that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
And we have to pray for our priests now. If I think Father Leon gives so many talks, it's amazing what they do for us.
Pray for our priests. Without our priests.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
There is nothing. There's no communion. There's no
No confession.
no confession.
Yeah.
And again, confession for you. How is confession for you? It's
So here
Uh-huh.
was fabulous. It was
Fabulous.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very uplifting.
Mhm.
And great priests. They're all. I'm sure they're all the same. They may look intimidating,
yeah.
but they're,
Yeah.
but they're not. I think it's more anxiety on your part.
our part. And what would you tell people now? Why come to Medjugorje?
If you come to Medjugorje, your life will be changed, and you will find a peace you didn't know you have. Maybe you didn't know you were even missing.
Yeah.
But when you find that, you just want to keep it forever, and it will.
And you want to come back. A lot of people say that.
Yes,
You want. Why do you come back? Because of the peace, or
I think Mary is just calling us to come back, to come. So.
and receive the graces, no?
Oh yes, and we can't wait to come back again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're going home tomorrow morning, but
You come back.
we will come back. Yes.
And your husband said he had a different experience the first time, and now the second time. It's the same for you. That the first time was another theme that now this time, or
This time, I didn't get any experience like that. I still had the peace, and I think for me, it was the joy in seeing one of my good friends be just so grateful and thankful for her husband's experiences, and which was also hers. So I just got joy in that. But
exactly to see
mm-hmm.
friends coming along.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What can I say? And maybe that's a nice one. What would you say your younger self, 18 again, out of the experience now, what advice would you give?
Oh, to never stop going to confession, never stop going to church. Just keep going, keep believing. Just put all of your anxieties, all your trust in God, and everything will work out as it's supposed to.
Yes. And then, you're married
Yeah.
quite a while. And what would you tell? What is the secret of a lasting marriage? So people struggle these days. So.
Do we have a secret, honey?
What is the secret?
Well,
You told already?
Did you?
Yeah, what your dad and my dad just say yes.
Happy bye. Happy
Yes.
bye.
Say yes. Say yes.
Say yes.
Yeah.
We don't understand women
We don't
sometimes.
understand women. You never will.
Mhm.
So just
Say yes.
you say yes, yes, yeah,
Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, dear, yes,
I
dear.
think it's putting your spouse God, of course, first, then your spouse, and then your children. So many people put their children above their spouse,
Oh, that's not good enough.
and that is not good.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you should put your spouse first, and then the children.
Sometimes you need that
Yeah.
cohesion. You need that, that family. Mom and dad needs to be
Yes.
United, no?
in the
Yes.
foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're distracted and do not have that foundation, then it's not. It's going to be more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you feel the same.
Yes.
And the kids will see that.
Yes.
They'll see that
If you're authentic, basically, huh?
right.
I think it's by, like you said, by example. You see your parents, what they did. It's
Right?
unbelievable. What can I say? This is so
Wow.
beautiful. You got a favorite Bible scripture?
Be still.
Yeah.
Just
Mine.
be still.
Always remember that, no? Be still, I'm God. I fight for you. The one who has patience receive the kingdom.
Right.
That's what it's all about, no? Feel the same thing?
I love that. And that's here. It's so easy. So still.
To be in the bubble here a little bit.
The bubble.
Well, thank you so much for that.
So thank you. It was a pleasure meeting
Want
you.
to greet anybody in Boston?
Hello, St. Catherine Parish friends.
We greet you from Medjugorje.
Yes.
And God bless you all.
God bless you.